was seeing Brett Kavanaugh sworn into the Supreme Court, a man who has faced multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. Before being sworn in, Kavanaugh faced the Senate Judiciary Committee, where he denied the allegations. Covered on virtually every network, he gave a defence where he portrayed himself as a beer-loving party boy, yet he looked as if he was unspilling like a Columbo villain.
I drank beer with my friends. Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. There is a bright line between drinking beer, which I gladly do, and which I fully embrace. Yes, we drank beer. Yes, we drank beer. I liked beer. Still like beer. We drank beer. Then we drank beer. And I said sometimes probably had too many beers, and sometimes other people had too many beers.
What?
We drank beer. We liked beer.
It makes me so mad how many, the alcohol is used as an excuse for that sort of behaviour all the time. Yet when the victim, when she's drunk, it's her fault, and I'm sick of it. Oh, don't be in the same room with him when he's had a little drink, he gets a bit handsy. Does he? I'll tell you what I get, a bit kick in the ballsy. Stop it.
Hansy's a disgusting term, isn't it?
Oh, you hear it all the time. Things like, he doesn't mean it. He's a nice guy, really. Just don't be on your own in a room with him. What? It's just what's so gross about this story is that he was Donald Trump's nominee to the Supreme Court. Now, if you are Donald Trump's nominee to the Supreme Court and you have no self-doubt about that, then I don't think judgment is your thing. Right? That's the first problem. And what happened then is Trump then apologised on TV to Brett Kavanaugh, not to Christine Blasey, not to the people that were hauled up, that came out. So he took that victimhood from the women and handed it straight to him.
Well, it's a bit of it's a huge worry, isn't it? Because, aside from his personal morality, whatever we think of that, he might now allow the Supreme Court to overturn Roe Wade, so abortions would no longer be legal in America. So in a way, worrying about his personal morality is a bit like a diabetic worrying about the hole in a donut.
It's just like Ireland, though. It won't really make it illegal. Their mistresses will still be able to have abortions, and a lot of them have had mistresses who have had abortions, but they can still fly them abroad to go and get them done.
At least you get a holiday with it.
The voice of reason. Trump's commitment to Saudi Arabia as a key ally has not wavered this year, despite the CIA concluding that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Did you follow that story? Pretty grim.
I think we should probably delay judgment until we know just how much money Saudi Arabia is prepared to give us.
It's a lot. Our arms sales last year were over £1 billion.
Also, can we really take the moral high ground about royal families sanctioning murder?
Khashoggi was a journalist, right? And I think we really don't, in this country, appreciate how dangerous a job journalism is.
There are journalists and journalists, though. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like the way the word actor covers everyone from, Al Pacino to Sooty. In March, a strange sequence of events helped put the ancient city of Salisbury on the map, with places to never ever visit. Former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia were left hospitalised after being poisoned by nerve agent Novichok. 3 others were also affected, including Dawn Sturgis, who later died. Theresa May blamed the Russian government and expelled a number of Russian diplomats from the UK. The prime suspects for the poisoning were Russian nationals Alexander Petrov and Ruslan Boshirov, believed to be members of Russia's military intelligence service. Here they are giving their not entirely convincing version of events in this tense chat with Russia Today.
Что вы там делали?
Друзья нам давно уже советовали посетить этот прекрасный город.
Солсбери.
Да.
Прекрасный город.
Да.
Он туристический город. Там есть знаменитый собор, Солсберийский собор. Он знаменит не только во всей Европе, он знаменит, я так думаю, даже во всем мире. Он знаменит своим шпилем 123-метровым, он знаменит своими часами, самыми первыми часами, которые были изобретены в мире, которые до сих пор идут.
Salisbury, famous for its Wikipedia page. I thought British intelligence should have got on early and changed the Wikipedia page for Salisbury. So they'd have got the birthplace of the Beatles.
The whole thing's like something out of a John le Carre, isn't it? It's so.
John le
so
Carre is an
cold.
excellent novelist. I'm sorry, this would not feature in a John le Carre.
It's like, no, they carried that Novichok over here, didn't they? Two separate containers, because it's only deadly when it's combined, like a sort of weaponised Muller fruit corner. It's proper that.
They're not even really trying to make you believe, and they're like, cathedral? Do you believe it? No.
I feel if they are telling the truth, then we have truly fucked up someone's holiday, and I feel bad for them.
And finally, before we say goodbye to the living hell that has been the last 12 months, I want to share with you one touching moment. 2018 saw This Morning celebrate its 30th anniversary. For 3 decades, they've brought us enlightening demonstrations, such as this breathtaking vaginal workout.
So here we go.
Okay, so you've got a hook on the end of the string.
Yes,
and you're
so if you look at the jar of Marmite, can you see it's going up and then down?
and you're literally squeezing your muscles.
Yeah, pulling up
Yeah.
that passage, so you can tapping that passage.
Yes.
So you get a sense of the muscles.
Okay. This is the 250 gram.
It's amazing the use she can put to things around the house. Oh, that's funny.
Hurting you.
Oh,
So it looks very odd.
I can lift a can of beans with my vagina as like the bleakest ever Tinder profile.
I just think, don't we judge women enough? I get judged on whether or not I have kids, whether or not I've got a job, what I look like, what I weigh, and now it's whether I work out my fanny.
Pussy like that make you leave your wife and kids just be shouting. She can pick up bean cans and he's like
Maybe she's just the Darren Brown of vaginas, and it's all just.
I think she's the Star Wars Death Star trash compactor.
But also, she can lift it, but she can't open the beans, can she? So, I would say she's an opening act rather than a headliner. Do you know what I mean?
At first I was angry by that, but then I thought, do you know what? There's times when I'm coming home from the shops and I wish I had more than 2 hands to carry them out.
What was in the last bag? It just looked like a bag of shit or something.
I don't think they have a bag of shit on This Morning. The producer sits there and goes, well, we'll start with the Marmite, then we'll have beans, then we'll have a bag of shit. That's the topper.
What's heavier than beans? What's heavier than beans? Bag of shit, mate.
Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks to my guests, Miles Juck, Angela Barnes, Mona Chalabi and Jamali Maddox. But before I go, I'd like to leave you with this thought. An American missionary called John Chow died this year, a Christian missionary trying to bring the gospel to the world's most isolated tribe, the North Sentinelese, who killed him in a hail of arrows when he landed on their island. Do you know what he did to try to relax them as he approached? When he got off the boat, he took off his clothes and approached them in a pair of black Y-fronts. There are Christian groups saying he should be a martyr. He might even become a saint, the patron saint of daft cunts. It was his 3rd visit to the island. On a previous trip, someone shot an arrow through his Bible. If only God had given him some kind of sign. He didn't bring Christianity to the North Sentinelese, but he did bring them the concept of homoerotic suicide. He hasn't died in vain. A pelican has made a nest out of his pubic hair and the remains of his Bible, and his ribcage is now a monkey's xylophone. And he didn't totally fail as a missionary. As he died, he whispered the story of Christmas into the ear of a seagull. He learned some of the North Sentinelese language, so he understood the final words he heard. Aim for his underpants, someone yelled as their top marksman split his cock in two. His last act on Earth was to piss himself in 3 different directions at once, casting rainbows like a Las Vegas fountain. He didn't give them faith, but the North Sentinelese will continue to learn from John Chow as his rotting body introduces them to every virus since Napoleon. And yet, really, I think the only thing John Chow is guilty of is something that most of us are guilty of: colonialist attitudes. British people, Europeans, Americans, we all grow up in the ruins of some kind of empire, and we tend to carry the attitudes that made them. You don't need to be right-wing for your thinking to be a product of empire. If you feel that you and your friends are some of the only good people in the world, that other people's consciousness needs to be raised to the level of your own, if you think that the religions of countries your empire fought wars against are barbaric, but the one they used to justify themselves is a certain Baroque charm, that's all post-colonial, privileged, white nonsense. Aren't we all, on some level, walking towards people with a big smile on our face and a pair of black Y-fronts? And yet, whatever happens, John Chow was right about one thing: he will be forgiven, as will his killers. We will all ultimately be forgiven, not by Jesus, but by death. The universe will also die. Forgiveness is everyone's ultimate destiny, because eventually there will be nobody left to hold a grudge and nowhere for them to do it. You will be forgiven because one day, it won't be an actual day because the sun won't exist. The concept of forgiveness will be forgotten, as will the concept of forgetting, and of concepts. We will all be forgiven by the heat death of the universe. Merry Christmas.